because I was thinking differently and I created this almost game-changing confidence for myself. I know now that I have value to offer people. I can create that positive impact. I've found my voice and I know my worth. And these are capabilities and skills that women need to have when they're making those career transitions or they're really trying to step up and step out in the role that they're currently in. So at the end of the day, once I started thinking differently and I saw the results, it became the data or that proof that really solidified that thinking differently worked.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the KTS Success Factor podcast for women, where we talk about challenges senior female leaders face in being happy and successful at work. I'm your host, Dr. Sarah E. Brown.
My guest today is Danielle DeShaw. From microbiology lab to Fortune 500 leadership, award-winning businesswoman, TV host, and coach. Danielle DeShaw is proving that when it comes to your career journey, where you start is not where you have to finish. She's passionate about leading conversations that empower women 10 years or so into their career to do their careers and development differently and in a familiar way. A natural problem solver, as host of the C-Suite on Rogers TV, she connects career challenges facing women today to solutions provided by women entrepreneurs. As a coach, she blends professional development strategies with personal growth practices. The result is women taking that next step in their career or business with a clear vision, strong voice, and game-changing confidence. Danielle, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for having me here today. I'm really excited to be here.
So what is the biggest challenge you help female leaders face in business today, and what might be the symptoms of that challenge?
So there are a lot of new challenges that women leaders are facing today in their careers, challenges we have never seen before. What's happening, though, is that women leaders, we're trying to face these challenges with old thinking, habits, and behaviors. And a symptom of this is we're trying to do and challenge and create solutions and change our results. And we're doing the same thing, expecting different results, and we're not getting them. And this, at the end of the day, is impacting engagement, retention, efficiencies, and really the overall results that women are experiencing personally, professionally, and the organizations as well. There is a hesitation, though, around thinking differently and approaching our problem solving and our decision making differently. First, it's because a lot of times we don't know how to think differently. We've done professional development for years. We've received the same training as everyone else as per our training curricula. But when we're all thinking the same, it's sometimes hard to step outside of what we know to look at what we don't know. Secondly, it's new. Thinking differently, thinking new, it's unfamiliar, it feels uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, there's no past outcomes to foresee future results. And especially in business making, for leadership, we're always looking back to when we did X, what was the Y result that we got? When we're thinking differently, we don't have that past data that we can go back and analyze on or predict what the outcome will be. So this isn't trusted, the thinking isn't trusted. And sometimes when we try to think differently, kind of our ego gets in the way. We could be thinking, I should know how to do this already. Or if I'm thinking differently, it means I wasn't doing it correctly to begin with. It's not the case. It's really about expanding your bandwidth and your ability to problem solve in a different way and create different solutions that are outside of the box to get different results. And I really help women leaders to make stronger, faster, and high quality decisions, identify innovative solutions, and really how to communicate with strength and clarity while building strong relationships with themselves and others. This happens because women get clear on the results that they want, and they gain the confidence that they need to take that next step. I like to empower women to think differently, but in a familiar way. This is done by removing all the hesitations and the fear associated with change for doing something in a different way by using familiar professional development and business strategies that are used by Fortune 500 companies to teach new ways of thinking through personal growth, mindsets, and practices.
And what do you see as the biggest mistakes your clients are making before they start working with you?
Some of the biggest mistakes are they're trying to do it all on their own. There's a hesitation to actually seek out and ask for help. Sometimes might be seen in the organization as a weakness and not necessarily a strength. Another mistake is that women, we're trying to work harder, again, doing more of the same, expecting different results. Again, that's the kind of the definition of sanity. Try to do the same thing, but expecting different results. It just doesn't work. And therefore, women are waiting too long to seek out help. What happens is they become lost. There's no clear direction. They're constantly putting out fires instead of being strategic and creating long-term solutions. It becomes very inefficient. And again, the solutions that are being implemented are very short-term. Performance and engagement decreases. And at the end of the day, there's overwhelm, there's frustration, and unhappiness actually increases.
Mm. What is the number one free and actionable tip you can give them to address this challenge now?
One actionable tip is really about becoming aware of how you're making decisions and what is actually driving the actions that you are taking. And this comes down to listening to the conversations that you are having and that others in your organization are having. Be in the moment. Instead of wanting to just kind of quickly solve the problem and move on to the next fire that's burning, just kind of stop and be present and start to ask yourself what's really driving the actions and your decisions. When you actually start listening and becoming more aware, you become aware that most of your thinking and actions, they're learned, they're habits, and potentially they're part of the overall corporate culture. And then you could also use the 5 why, the root cause problem solving process, to really start digging into the exact reason why you are thinking and doing things in a certain way. Once you're aware of this root cause of your thinking, you now have that starting point in which to start making change. And when you change your thinking, you can change how you're seeing challenges, and you become more open to identifying and taking actions on different solutions.
Terrific. You want to explain the 5 whys just a little bit more in depth so that people know what you're talking about on this?
Absolutely. So the 5 why process is a problem solving process where you ask a question and then you give an answer, and you keep asking why 5 times. And the idea is that when you keep asking why, you're digging deeper and deeper into the actual root cause. A lot of the times when we're problem solving, we're looking at just the surface or the symptom of the problem. When you get into those deeper whys, you're identifying the true root cause. And then when you actually create a solution based on the root cause, that's when you actually eliminate the problem from reoccurring.
Thanks. And Danielle, what's a valuable free resource you can share with the women in this challenge better?
A resource that I have that's free that women can go and download, it's a goal achieving method to get women to start thinking differently in a familiar way. And this goal achieving method is based on the 5S lean methodology, which has known results and benefits that organizations use to increase profits, decrease waste, and decrease time spent on processes. And I blend this with personal growth mindset and goal setting principles, which really can create these transformational changes. So it really helps to blend, again, doing something very familiar, but in a different way. And the idea is to shift to focusing on desired solutions and then creating consistent, actionable thinking and behaviors. And this tool can be downloaded at flowcode.com/page/Danielle DeShaw.
And that link will be in the show notes for people to find. And did you say that was the 5S? That was a lean methodology?
Yes, a lean methodology. Yes.
Okay, got it. Mm-hmm. So Danielle, what's one question that I should have asked you that will help our audience take action to address this challenge? And then would you please answer the question?
It's a great question to ask. And when I thought about this, it was all about really, I wanted to show that I've walked the walk. So the question is, how has thinking differently allowed me to overcome career challenges? And the answer is, again, like you said in the very beginning, I started off in a microbiology lab. So for the first 15 years of my career, I was Fortune 500. It was very linear. I started in a microbiology lab, and I was very intentional, and I was moving up in my career, and I ended up in Fortune 500 leadership. I got into personal growth and this idea around thinking differently when I turned 40, and just before I turned 40. I was coming up against challenges in my career that I did not know how to solve. With all of my academics and my training and my development, I couldn't fix everything. So I began to start thinking that there was something wrong with me, that I didn't know what I could do. I wasn't competent anymore. I didn't have the qualifications to be doing what I was doing. And I just really started to doubt who I was and what I was able to do. But I then realized that I've been driving my career really focused on what I wanted to be. And then I completely forgot about the who. I was so focused on the analytics that I forgot to kind of step back and really look at, well, who do I want to be as a leader? And personal growth really, it helped me to start thinking differently, which increased my belief in myself to the point where I intentionally stepped off the ladder at 40 and I became an entrepreneur a few years ago. And the personal growth and thinking differently, and this idea around identifying a goal and knowing exactly what I wanted, it actually became a compass. No matter the highs or the lows that I was experiencing in my work, in business, or in life, I found that when I got focused on getting very clear on what it is that I wanted, and I took intentional actions to move towards that goal and what I wanted, things always worked out. So again, like my background is in manufacturing, like 20 years in manufacturing. I was extremely analytical, process oriented, introverted, and I was low risk. The focus was really on analyzing problems to come up with solutions. I didn't form relationships very well. I had a big bubble around me about getting close to people, and I was uncomfortable in groups. By learning how to think differently, I'm still some of those things. I'm analytical. I love processes. I am naturally still introverted. I like being alone, but I've developed a whole new skill set. I'm much more creative and innovative, more people-centered versus process-centered. I've gotten comfortable with being uncomfortable. I like being in groups. I take more strategic risks, and I trust my decisions. I'm now solution-focused, where I use the solution as a starting point instead of the data. I'm still introverted, but I enjoy talking and getting to know other people. And at the end of the day, I'm very confident in making these nonlinear career transitions. Again, I started in that microbiology lab. Today, I'm coaching. I'm also the community producer and host of a TV show. So I'm really putting myself out there. And TV broadcasting, it was an industry I knew absolutely nothing about. Because I was thinking differently and I created this almost game-changing confidence for myself. I know now that I have value to offer people. I can create that positive impact. I've found my voice and I know my worth. And these are capabilities and skills that women need to have when they're making those career transitions or they're really trying to step up and step out in the role that they're currently in. So at the end of the day, once I started thinking differently and I saw the results, it became the data or that proof that really solidified that thinking differently works.
Terrific advice. Danielle, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the KTS Success Factor podcast for women. If you like what you are hearing, please go to iTunes to subscribe, rate us, and leave a review. And if you would like more information on how we can help women in your organization to thrive, then go to www.sarahebrown.com. You can sign up for our newsletter, read show notes and learn more about our podcast guests, read my blog, browse through the books, or contact us for a chat. Goodbye for now.